It's Megalil daily accident Megalil.
Xcel Energy's Cabin Creek hydroelectric plant is located in a remote mountainous area approximately 6 miles from Georgetown, Colorado. A 4,000-foot tunnel, known in the industry as a penstock, was slightly inclined at the bottom and extremely steep at the top. The penstock carried water between the upper and lower reservoirs. At the bottom, water flowed through large turbines to generate electricity. Over the years, the penstock lining deteriorated. In 2007, Xcel Energy contracted with RPI, an industrial painting company, to recoat a large steel section of the penstock near the power plant and lower reservoir. Work began at the site in September. The penstock is a unique confined space that is difficult to enter and exit. Before the project began, a door was cut into the lower section to provide access for workers and their equipment. On the morning of the accident, October 2nd, RPI workers prepared to begin the coating operation by bringing approximately 10 gallons of a highly flammable solvent called methyl ethyl ketone, or MEK, into the penstock. Some of the solvent was used to clean the equipment and hoses before starting the work. Shortly after 1 p.m., 11 workers began coating a section of wall located more than 1,400 feet inside the penstock. To apply the new 2-part epoxy coating, workers used a specialized sprayer. Base and hardener were mixed and then sprayed onto the walls. But the workers immediately encountered problems. The epoxy was not adhering evenly to the surface. The workers flushed the hoses and spray wands with MEK each time a problem arose. But despite their efforts, they could not get the epoxy to adhere evenly. An RPI foreman decided to clean and remove the sprayer from the penstock. The crew began cleaning out all of the equipment and hoses using MEK. A worker brought in more of the flammable solvent to aid in the cleaning. Some workers noticed the strong odor of MEK as the vapor spread through the work area. At approximately 2 p.m., the vapor was ignited, most likely by static electricity inside one of the spraying machine hoppers. A flash fire erupted. Burning solvent burst from the hopper onto a nearby worker, catching his sleeve on fire. The flames spread quickly, engulfing the open buckets of MEK nearby. 5 workers were blocked from escaping the penstock by the intense fire. The trapped men shouted desperately for fire extinguishers, but there were none inside the penstock. Workers on the other side of the burning equipment ran the 1,400 feet to the entrance to locate fire extinguishers. One worker notified the control room operator to call 911. The 5 trapped workers could do nothing but wait and hope. Inside the penstock, the nearby buckets of epoxy and MEK burst into flames. The trapped men fled deeper into the penstock to escape the smoke. They used their radios to communicate with the workers outside, imploring them for help. Workers repeatedly attempted to fight the fire with portable extinguishers, but they were forced to turn back by the intense heat and thick black smoke. Inside the penstock, the workers continued to wait for rescue. At 2:11 p.m., county emergency personnel arrived at the site in response to the 911 call. But they had not been informed about the hazardous conditions within the penstock, and they were not equipped or trained to attempt such a technically demanding rescue.
They're not trained.
The trapped workers were instructed to move even deeper into the mountain, but they stopped when they reached the inclined section, which was too steep to climb. They told responders they were struggling to breathe as smoke filled the penstock. Some of the responders entered the penstock on an all-terrain vehicle, but the dense smoke blocked their path, and they had to retreat after just 200 feet. The responders then drove up the winding road that rose over 1,000 feet to the upper reservoir.
Special responders from CSS.
There, they lowered air bottles and respirators through a small hatch hoping these would reach the trapped workers below. Finally, at 3:40 p.m., a specialized rescue unit arrived from Denver, some 40 miles to the east. A short time later, a specialized mine rescue unit arrived. The teams prepared for entry, but it was too late.
Suba.
The 5 workers inside the penstock had died of smoke inhalation.
I'll click a link, but no more links, I forgot to say. Last link.
The following day, responders found their bodies near the bottles of air.
What?
The CSB found that the accident at Excel's Cabin Creek plant highlights 3 key safety issues. The lack of regulatory limits for bringing flammable materials into permit-required confined spaces. Excel Energy's flawed process for contractor selection and oversight. And the lack of preparation for possible emergency.
What did they die next to? I didn't see. They died before they could reach it. Oh.
Confined space technical rescue poses many unique challenges for us as emergency responders.
Captain Steve Azeltine is the Division Chief of Training for the West Metro Fire and Rescue District in Denver. He and his team responded to the accident at Excel Energy.
A confined space is not meant for continuous human occupancy. It has a small ingress and egress point. A permit-required confined space is any area that can have an atmosphere that's immediately dangerous to life or health. You're required to have a rescue team on site and professionals there to help you in a permit-required confined space, and most times we see people just blow that off. And unfortunately, those are the people that don't get to go home.
There was 45 minutes
it's
between
not like they decide to,
and when
they
the
have
last
a boss.
radio conversations occurred with the workers inside the penstock. That's a significant amount of time.
It's not like they want to
the
fucking
fact that there was
do
45
shit,
minutes
you know,
before the
for
last
fun.
radio communication tells us that there probably would have been enough time had an emergency responding group been there and been prepared to handle the chemicals inside, to potentially put it out and rescue the individuals.
But they probably don't see it as a
The
risk.
nearest community emergency responders trained for confined space technical rescue were located over an hour's drive away.
The fire department in your local area may not have a confined space technical rescue team. They may not have that specialized level of training. They may have to wait for that kind of response. And if you're the person down in there that is in a low oxygen environment, you don't have time to wait.
To increase the availability of such specialized responders, the CSB recommended that the state of Colorado develop a new firefighter training certification program for confined space rescue. The CSB determined that when Excel Energy was selecting a contractor to recoat the penstock, RPI did not have an acceptable safety record based on Excel's own evaluation standards.
In the safety category, RPI was evaluated to have a 0 on a scale
this is not very interesting.
of 0 to 5. And that was the lowest.
Basically, I am Eric for 2 years, man. 2 years golden.